Trump was being married 3 times. Each of his wives were immigrants. So the joke is, you can see that immigrants, especially some of the women, do the work that Americans don't want to do.
So Michael, today we'll be looking at the US presidential elections for 2016. You've just come back from the USA. Can you tell us what the thoughts were on the ground in America, and are you still equally as negative about Donald Trump, the candidate?
I don't think my views have changed about him as a candidate, as you remember last time. But it does seem that he's gaining ground, unfortunately. But the jokes are coming out, quite a lot of them actually. One joke is that he's saying, now we're going to build that wall, but you'll probably want me on the other side. But my main impression in the US, I was in Washington, New York, Miami, was the wall-to-wall coverage of the media, and Trump always. And so he's getting all this free publicity, and he's making inroads because of that, because people see him all the time, and therefore they think he must be doing something good. On the other hand, on the other side, Bernie and Hillary. Hillary's still ahead, and I think she probably will win. Bernie Sanders, is quite impressive, actually. He's getting more impressive on the TV, and he's getting a lot of the young voters and also a lot of the educated voters. The problem with Bernie is that his economic policies are highly suspect, because it's kind of what the Republicans are always saying about the Democrats: you're tax and spend. And Bernie is a lot of tax and a lot of spend, which might not be particularly necessary in the United States right now. I also think that the Republicans are not targeting Bernie because they want him to win. And if he does win, then I think they'll go after him, because they say, oh, he's not, socialism means communism, and we've got to get rid of him. So I think certainly the Democratic Party would like Hillary. She's got the experience and so on. Bernie, I think he'd make a great vice president, by the way, but I think the Republicans are laying off him because they think he's an easy target. However, in the country as a whole, if you put Bernie against Trump and Hillary against Trump, Bernie actually gets more points than Hillary does against Trump. They both win against him. On the other side, on the Republican side, with Trump, the Republican Party, as far as we can see, are pretty horrified by it. Mitt Romney has made this speech, as you know. It looks like the Republican Party are falling in behind Cruz. But Cruz, he was so disliked when he was a senator, and he is a senator. He was so disliked when he was in Washington. And his economic policy is madness. In fact, this morning in the New York Times, Paul Krugman exposed Cruz's economic policies and said he wants to go back to the gold standard. Well, that sort of thing had been thrown out a long time ago. The other thing is the whole question of immigration. Trump continues, this wall around Mexico, anti-immigration, and the nation is full of immigrants. It's absolutely impossible. And what's even interesting about Trump, and here's another joke coming, I shouldn't say that, nobody laughs when you tell a joke is coming, is that Trump was being married 3 times. Each of his wives were immigrants. So the joke is, you can see that immigrants, especially some of the women, do the work that Americans don't want to do.
That's a good one. I preferred that one to the first one. So you said that Bernie is attracting young and educated voters. So who's Donald Trump attracting in regards to American voters?
It's difficult really to find out, because there are a lot of polls, but they're pretty inaccurate in general. The ones that I've seen suggest that in the South it's mainly white and not so well educated, maybe high school maximum. But this is not universal right through the United States. In the North, it does seem that some of the gun lovers, the white gun lovers again, like Trump, and again, I'm using the word white. Well, I'm pink, by the way. But the colour is such a huge issue, and I find that so worrying, is that one dictates who you're going to vote for, who you are, based on your colour, not on what you think and what you need. But it does seem that there's a lot of voters in the United States who are angry about the government, about the Obama government. What I don't understand is that the Republicans have stopped anything that Obama tried to do, both through the House and through the Senate, except for the first 2 years of Obama. And the Democrats usually work in the interest of middle classes and the working classes. So what's happening is those people have been channeled to be against the Democrats, precisely the party that tried to help them, but have been stopped by the Republicans. So the Republicans are getting mileage by being anti-Obama, anti-Washington, when in fact they're the cause of it all. So what's really worrying is that people in the US and the more uneducated people are actually not voting in their own best interest, and I've never really understood that.
And do you think that coincides with the fact that they're not necessarily voting under socially responsible circumstances, and they're just voting perhaps irrationally because they're angry or disappointed?
Yeah, I think that's right. The question of social responsibility of voters, well, probably a bit arrogant for me to say that I wish they could have more. But it's as I said just now, that they don't seem to vote in their own best interest for things that, and so they're voting for people like Trump, who I mean, he's a rich guy. He's the rich people in the States, they love it. And what's happened over the last 20, 30 years in the United States is that income distribution has worsened, wages have remained pretty static, prices have gone up, so people are feeling the pinch. But who's doing that? And who's gaining from it is the very rich people. And Trump and all the others, not the Democrats, the Republicans, they want to, as always, reduce taxes on the rich. They say this is what Ronald Reagan did. Actually, Ronald Reagan tried to and made a huge mess. The deficit went up, so he had to start increasing taxes.
Well, Michael, thank you so much once again for coming in and sharing your insights. That's all from myself and Michael, but if you enjoyed this video, like and comment on dukoscopy.tv. Goodbye for now.